Many retail investors treat the stock market like a casino table. They assume if they push all their chips in on the riskiest bet, the market is mathematically obligated to give them the biggest payout. When inevitably burned, their next instinct is to buy an enormous, random assortment of popular stocks. The logic seems sound. If you own a little bit of everything, you must be safe. But financial markets don't operate on gut feelings. In 1952, an economist named Harry Markowitz proved that is governed by cold, unbreakable mathematical laws, a framework we now call modern portfolio theory. The absolute core of Markowitz's theory is a harsh truth. The market will absolutely refuse to pay you a single cent of premium for taking on risks that you could have easily avoided. To actually stop losing capital to wild price swings, you have to realize that a portfolio's total volatility is made of two entirely distinct elements. And before true investing even begins, you have to mathematically eliminate one of them completely. The first element is non-systemic risk, or idiosyncratic risk. This is the highly localized, micro-level chaos attached to a single company. Think of a CEO unexpectedly stepping down, a massive product recall, or a critical manufacturing plant catching fire. You solve this chaos using a strict numerical threshold, the rule of 12 to 15. By holding 12 to 15 stocks randomly selected from completely unrelated industries, you build a structural defense. When one sector suffers a localized disaster, a totally disconnected sector might experience a sudden boom. Because these events are independent, their specific risks crash into each other and cancel out. Once your portfolio crosses that 15-asset threshold across broad sectors, the math takes over. That specific company risk drops to near zero. You haven't diluted your potential market return. You've simply used diversification as a filter to strip away the micro-level noise. So what exactly survives the filter? What's left is the irreducible core, systemic risk. This is the macro-level gravity that drags on the entire financial system at the exact same time. We're talking about soaring inflation, central bank interest rate hikes, or global recessions. If a severe recession hits, adding 1,000 more stocks offers absolutely zero protection. Every single equity you buy is trapped in that exact same gravitational pull. But because this systemic risk is inescapable, it triggers the most important rule in investing. This is the only risk the financial market actually pays you a premium to hold. This chart shows two assets moving in perfect synchronized lockstep, a correlation coefficient of +1. You cannot manage macro risk if all your investments mirror each other exactly. To survive a systemic shock, you have to inject completely different asset classes into the mix. You need sovereign bonds, foreign currencies, or physical commodities, assets that ignore the stock market entirely. Combining historically non-correlated assets physically lowers your total volatility. It protects your wealth from macroeconomic blows in a way that holding a massive pile of identical stocks never could. This graph plots risk against return. The resulting convex line is the efficient frontier, dictating the highest expected return for any specific risk level. Portfolios landing below this curve are mathematically inferior. You are absorbing uncompensated risk for returns achievable with far less stress. Top-tier institutional investors don't rely on guesswork. They use complex algorithms and immense computing power to constantly map global asset matrices directly onto this exact curve. They optimize on a massive scale, balancing the concentrated growth of U.S. tech giants against undervalued German industrial conglomerates, hedging it all with Japanese liquidity. This institutional edge doesn't come from a magical ability to pick the next winning stock. It comes from ruthlessly executing the math of risk subtraction across borders and asset classes. For the retail investor, true diversification is not some folk wisdom safety net. It is a rigorous, scientific weapon designed to destroy uncompensated risk, leaving your capital exposed only to the macroeconomic forces that actually drive wealth creation.